I got 1 and 2. I think it's going to be a tough task against the Eagles, especially with no George Pickens. I think going into the Ravens, you'll have similar questions as well as a revenge game narrative from the Baltimore Ravens, who's a really good football team. I actually like them against the Chiefs because I think where the Chiefs struggle is at the offensive line, and I can see T.J. Watt wreaking havoc on that Chiefs offense.
Yeah, I agree with Hawk. I think it's the same games in the same situation. They're more likely to split with the Ravens than to sweep the Ravens, in my view. And this Eagles team matches up really well with where the weaknesses are for the Steelers. And
where you live?
I live in D.C.
Oh, okay.
I live in D.C.
They're going to go 2-1.
Jaden Daniels.
They're going to beat
Really?
2-1. 2-1. I think they beat the Ravens. I think they beat the Chiefs. I don't think they beat the Steelers this week, but I think they beat the Ravens. And I think, to everybody's point, I think they match up well with the Chiefs. And until we see, like, the Chiefs' offensive line, how healthy they can get on that edge, that's a tough matchup for that group. So it's going to be. I didn't like the loss by 20 though. That kind of.
20's a lot.
That's not a big. That kind of almost swayed me. I was like 20. That's not close in the NFL.
Like some Kenny Pickett and Doug Hodges games.
Well, that's
there,
true.
right?
That's true.
So,
That's true.
No, I
Good
had
point.
1 and 2, but I actually think they're going to sweep the Ravens. Just in the division game. I just think division rivals, they seem, Lamar, for whatever reason, has issues with the Steelers.
Exactly.
So.
Neat told me the same thing. He just scared and said he could go home.
I know.
He don't want to be home. Yeah, he don't want to be back.
He's got connections there.
It's all good, man.
The Ravens and the Chiefs are teams that they could conceivably see in the playoffs. And the issue with Mike Tomlin's Steelers over the last, frankly, 8 years has been the inability to have success in the postseason. They've lost, let's take a look, they've lost their last 5 playoff games, allowing a total of 202 points over that span. Last team they beat in the playoffs was the Chiefs. It was during the 2016 season. That was pre-Mahomes. So yeah, this is the issue. When Steeler fans, unappreciative Steeler fans, are critical of their head coach, it's because of this. It's because they don't have playoff success in recent years under him. So, does Mike Tomlin need to win a playoff game this year to fight that off?
I don't think his job is on the line, but I think he does need to win a playoff game. I think when you look at this Pittsburgh Steelers team, everybody has come, around to feeling like this is a team that has the ability to make a push in the postseason. We had questions coming in. The old saying, you have 2 quarterbacks, you have none. Well, that has not been the case. He has done an incredible job at the beginning part of this season to where he has this team playing really good football and above what their level of expectation is. Now, going into the playoffs, we have to keep that same energy. And I think when you look at the relationship and the partnership between him and Russell Wilson, it does feel like, the way that you would need a good team in the playoffs that can make a Super Bowl push, they have to be lockstep the way that these 2 guys are. If they took an L the first time out, it would be a huge disappointment for everyone in that organization and the expectations that have built from their way of playing throughout this season.
Yeah. I think that's the most important note is the expectations have changed.
Yeah.
I don't think any of us would have come into the season saying Mike Tomlin better win a playoff game this year. But the way they've played all season, I'd be surprised, given the fact that they'll probably be the 3 seed. They'll have to take on the 6. They have a home game. They should win that game. And then the next game will be a team that's very beatable. In the AFC, I think they have a good shot considering how well Russ has been managing the games and how incredible that defense has been. They got a good situation, be a real disappointment. I think the narrative around Mike Tomlin, those unappreciative Steelers fans, they will have something to be really upset about if they don't have a respectable run this year.
Yeah, I think our league has gotten into what have you done for me lately in a hurry. And we're talking about, you guys wanted to fire Sirianni after 2 years.
Time for the coaching.
I believe Tomlin has done a pretty decent job there in Pittsburgh, but he does need to win. In all honesty, they are they're not just a good team, they're a great defensive football team.
Yes, yep.
And Russell Wilson in 10-yard gains and 15-yard passes, he's got the highest completion percentage in the league. So he's showing what we all worried about. Can you push the ball down the field? Yeah. He's doing it, and you see Tomlin liking it. They have to make the most of the situation.
Yeah, I've covered this team a lot in the playoffs. I've watched them in the regular season start off 11-0 and lose to the Commanders. I've seen them lose to the Browns in week 17 or 18 and then lose in the wild card round to the Browns. I've seen them go to Arrowhead and lose to the Chiefs. So this team, all the feedback I get from Steelers fans and my TikTok comments and everywhere is literally he's a good coach, but he doesn't win when it matters. And I think until that happens, these fans, that large subset in Pittsburgh, not going to be happy with him.
You talked about level of expectation.
Yeah.
He's the coach of the year. And when you're the coach of the year going into the playoffs, it has to continue on.
Yeah, and again, to the earlier point, maybe a little bit better roster than some of those teams that we saw lose in the first round.
Welcome to John Crowder's show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm back again with another sports show, joining you live from a spot here in the Battery, Atlanta, Georgia. If you ever get time, come check us out. Want to make sure you understand that if you want to see some of the most up-to-date clips, shows, Stephen A. Smith, First Take, Pat McAfee, go ahead and tune in. Every day we're dropping clips and even live shows. So take the time to go ahead, like, subscribe, and even share this content. We're going to be pushing out a lot of content to you free. And also we're going to be giving away live tickets to sporting events. And we'll be live on set at the NCAA Championship, the Final Four. And also we'll be live at the Super Bowl this year. So if you want to win free tickets, make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned. Put the alert bell on. We're going to keep you up to date with NFL, MLB, soccer, baseball, hockey, all sports, and even giving you free picks on parlays that we hit very often. So go ahead and stay locked in, because if you blink, you'll miss it. Again, I'm John Crowder. Thanks for tuning in. What are some of the most iconic sports for you as far as moments? One of the most iconic sports moments for me was definitely when the Falcons lost the Super Bowl. Even though I'm a Falcons fan, it was heartbreaking, but it was definitely memorable. So that was one of the most memorable, ugliest moments for me as a sports fan. Go ahead and drop in the chat what your most memorable moment in sports was, and we'll be sure to comment and respond to that. One other thing, we definitely want to let you know that we do have sports picks, and we will be putting them in the chat. Our sports picks come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of historical data, and just a lot of professionalism. So if you want to start hitting some of those bets, make sure you follow our picks, and we'd definitely like to help you out on that. All right, this channel is completely free. We don't have any sponsors, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share this to get more content like this and to help us put out more content. Again, I'm John Crowder, and I'm joining you live from the Battery in Atlanta. Stay tuned for more episodes, more shows, and more content.